This service is provided by freeconferencing.com. Please enter your access code followed by the pound. This access code accepted. There are 14 participants in this conference. Q&A session started.
He's got a software company in Florida. He's written software for NASA. He's really good at finding stuff online. So we didn't make up the phone number. He found it somewhere online. And the good news is you know that not many other people are calling him. If you can just be ready and don't, I mean, rather than fumble around looking to make something up, just give them an honest answer. That's usually the best.
But I didn't know an honest.
Best course.
I just kind of said I didn't know. I just kind of said,
okay.
Well, we just went to go to the courthouse every week, and it just popped up, and I'm not sure where it was. It was somewhere on when nobody should have this number, and it went into that.
Yeah, just say that my team checks multiple databases and of online information, and we were able to find it online. That's why we're calling.
Okay.
So and that's pretty rare. You got just if you sound confident that you're trying to help them, you won't get that too often.
But the second one
you may even say something. You may even say something like. We'll be just as good at finding a buyer for your property when you're ready.
Yeah. If I had,
all right.
She was just really mad. But real quick, my second question was, or the second role play call, she did need my services, only she said she had a realtor to list her house. And I said to her, well, did you sign anything yet with the realtor? She said no. And she said she's down here, but she works in Palm Coast, but she lives down here. And I said, well, I live and work in Palm Coast. I says, wouldn't it be, better for you to hire somebody that works in Palm Coast versus working in South Florida or wherever she was? And she said, well, I may need your cleaning crew. And then I said, well, yeah, that's fine. I said, but when we list the property, that's including with our service.
Okay. Again, let's role play that one then.
Okay.
It sounds like what you're doing there. What Chad always says: don't try to completely complete the sale on the initial conversation. Just try to get an appointment. Is this person local?
I
or
did get the appointment. I have to meet with.
Oh,
her
you
on
did?
Friday. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so good. So you did a good job there, and the person is local, right?
Well, she lives in South Daytona, but I live in Palm Coast, so she comes up here back and forth. So she's going to meet me at the house on Friday and open up the house so I can see it, And she says it has to be sold before July because it's a pre-foreclosure.
So how did you close to get the appointment after you got that first objection?
Well, I said to her, she said, well, she'd feel bad because she had already told the realtor, and I said, but the realtor's going to sell her condo in this house. And I said, well, where are you going? And she said, Vegas. And I said, oh, that's nice, and blah, blah, blah. And then I said, well, she's going to work on your house in Daytona. Well, I could be working on the other house up in Palm Coast.
Okay,
and I
good.
could get it so quick for you. But she's waiting on papers from the court to give her permission to put on the listing agreement that she's able to authorize the listing from all the relatives.
Okay, perfect. You want to role play that, and the good news is you got the appointment, so that's half the battle. And we have nobody else in the queue, guys, and we have about 40 people on the call. It looks like Chad must be having trouble getting through. So
I'm here, Jim. I've just been.
Oh, you're here. Okay, awesome. Okay, well, come help me out here, buddy. You weren't on when the call started. I wasn't sure if you were able to do it. Why don't you role play the second part of that with Chad? Because it sounds to me, Darcy, like you're trying real hard to close her on the call. So why don't you let Chad take give him that objection that I already have a realtor, and let him handle it.
Okay. All right.
So ring.
Would you want to meet up? Like I've got a spot on Friday at 3. Would that be a good time to meet at the house?
Well, yeah, that's what I told her. I says, we can meet on Friday at 11 o'clock. Is that good for you? And she said, yeah. So she's going to meet me at the house at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, but back up to the point where she shuts you down. Like, give me the objection.
She said, initially she said, well, I already have a realtor who's going to sell the house, but I would need your cleaning service.
Okay.
And I said,
let me ask, Darcy, have you signed an agreement with that agent?
With what agent? No, I didn't sign anything.
The one you just referenced. Okay.
No, she said she was going to list the property with another agent.
Oh, stay in role play with me.
Are we in role play?
Well, we're trying to be.
Okay, go ahead.
So give him the objection. I've already got an agent. Let him take it from there.
Okay, I've already got an agent that's going to sell the house.
Okay, so you've signed a listing agreement with her already?
No.
Okay, and do you feel like she's covered everything that you need? She's going to help with every aspect of the transaction, being out of market.
Yeah, she's a pretty good realtor. I mean, she
lives
here.
MLS? Does she have MLS access in this local MLS?
I'm not sure.
The reason I ask is you said you have a really important date coming up. You basically have about a 90-day window, and right now that's about how long it takes to sell a home. So I think it's probably in your best interest to use her where she's the expert and use me where I'm the expert. I don't have to beat the learning curve. I have MLS access. I have all the professional connections here in this market to serve you. If you were to hire her to serve you here, she's just going to have to go beat that learning curve and become my competition. So I think it's in your best interest to go ahead and meet with me and understand how we can help you with the overall situation with our local team and our local marketing techniques. And then you can make a decision. But I think it'll be clear to you once we meet. So it's something we can talk about when we meet up on Friday. And the other thing I'll do is I'll be prepared to, we'll look through the home and kind of walk through the options you have for getting it cleaned out and ready for photography before we put it in MLS. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that does.
So, and I'll break script. All I'm doing is painting the picture of how it does not make sense for you to risk time when you have 90 days to sell a home in probate. She doesn't have time to waste on an agent out of market learning your market just to get a damn commission. She needs to work with somebody that can serve her in the market where each property is.
Right. But she said the agent lives there in South Daytona but works in Palm Coast, where I work. So
she does work your market.
Yeah, she works in Palm Coast but resides in South Daytona. But it's still, if she's living in South Daytona, it's still back and forth with her, to get to the
regardless,
house.
So even typically your competition will be in your market. The script I get, like what I usually go for there is I always try. Well, let's jump back into it. I'll show you.
Okay.
So you haven't signed a listing agreement with that agent yet, Darcy?
No.
Okay. Well, when are you meeting with her? Do you guys have an appointment?
I'm going to talk to her soon as I get this okay from the courts.
Okay. So you said you were available at Friday at 3. Do you think you can meet with her before then?
Yeah.
Okay, great. The reason I ask, we encourage you to interview as many real estate agents as you want. Ultimately, this is about you working with the best partner for your situation. And so we encourage all of our clients to meet with however many agents they want. What we find, though, is usually they meet with a real estate agent and just talk about the marketing aspects of listing a home. When you meet with us, it's going to be a much different appointment. So we're going to look at your overall situation. For example, we talked about the personal property. That's one of the first things we'll address. And not only will we take a look and give you our opinion, we're going to connect you with the people. So we'll give you the strategy, and then we'll execute it for you if you don't have the time or you don't want to mess with it. We can take all that off your shoulders. And that's the big difference between our team and most real estate agents. Most agents in the area are great at sales and marketing and conventional listings, but they just don't have the experience navigating probate and all the other challenges that are on your shoulders that the attorney's not going to handle, that you have to. So rather than you struggling through it and her struggling through it, working with our team, we're already prepared. It's what we do every day. Does that make sense?
Yeah, can I ask a question? But when
Sure.
she's saying the attorney told her not to list it until she gets the okay from the courts, that she's from the relatives, there's 6 or 7 of them, that she's allowed to be the prime, what do you call those people that list the,
she'll be
like
the
she's the owner. Yeah, the administrator. So, but I said, oh, so the attorney told you to wait, and she said yes. So I don't know how long it's going to take for her to get the paperwork from the court that she's okay to be the administrator for the sale.
Well, it should be the next hearing. So my next phone call after this one would be to the attorney to introduce myself. And
Okay.
I would say, listen, I just spoke to Darcy, and she told me that her timeline is, 90 days or so before she moves to Vegas. Not trying to push or be a thorn in your side. I just want to make sure that I can, I'm doing the best I can for her. So when do you see the initial hearing? When is their court date? And when could we go ahead and list the property for her?
Mm-hmm.
And make connection with that attorney so you know. And then do that before you meet with her, but don't tell her until you meet. And then show her that you've been proactive. You've made contact with the attorney, and you're already privy to her situation.
Yeah, because it's going to go into foreclosure in July.
Yeah, and use that with the attorney. So, I understand there's a ticking clock, so I don't want to overstep my bounds, and please don't feel like I'm pushing you.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got about a 90-day window, and time's very important. So I need to know when to have the house cleaned out, photography done, so we can sign the listing agreement and get it into MLS. Could you just kind of bring me up to date on where you are with getting her appointed as the administrator? Okay, great. And what you may do is you might work with your broker and figure out what document you want to use here. But when somebody signs something, there's a psychological commitment, even if it's not a legal document. You may get her to sign a letter of intent to list. Mm-hmm. Like, since she's not the representative, you may write up a simple letter of intent that says, I intend to list 123 Walnut Street with Darcy as soon as I'm appointed as the administrator of this estate, and sign that letter of intent. And that, in her mind, she's making a commitment. So you probably won't have any competition after that. She will have, in her mind, already committed to you, even though it might not be illegally enforceable as a listing agreement. It's a psychological commitment that will probably land the listing for you.
Okay.
And you have to get with your broker and see what he or she's comfortable with. But that's what I would try to do on this first appointment.
Okay. Well, I just feel like I winged. I just did when I did the call. I kind of winged it. I just said, "What the heck? Let me just wing this one."
That's
and
what
I
we
did.
all
Darcy,
do.
What's that?
That's what we all do.
Oh,
yeah, I was going to say, fake it till you make it. That's what you're doing. Yeah. And I know, Darcy, you've been on the mastermind calls the last couple of weeks, and you said you were getting blasted, and you weren't real comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
But congratulations on hanging in there and sticking with it. And the more, it's like anything else, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. So, and the good news is you got an appointment already. That's great. I mean, what's it been? A couple weeks?
My problem is I feel like, I'm a probate expert, for example. Okay, I'm a probate expert. We have a team of this, team of that, but I don't feel like I'm a probate expert.
Have you gone through the fast track? Have you gone through the fast track videos? Have you listened to all the videos, the fast track videos?
Not all of them. Not
all of them. Darcy. So,
I don't have time.
Darcy,
what?
Tell me what a probate expert is.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, I don't know really anything about probate, to be honest with you.
But tell me what you think a probate expert is.
A probate expert would be, in my opinion, that knows a lot of, that knows a lot of information and has information about really what they're going through. I don't really know what they're going through. I don't know. Yeah, they're an administrator. The dead person's there, and they got to take care of the house and blah, 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 blah. But then a lot of them go back to saying, well, I have my attorney. He's taking care of everything. And then I say, well, he can't take care of everything. There's some things that he's not able to take care of, and that's where I step in. But I still don't feel like a probate expert.
Okay.
You know.
So everything you mentioned, like where you're lacking, we cover in Mastery. So we teach you what they're going through, the generalities of probate, like how the process works, walk you through the timeline, and then show you how to build a team and why each of those people are important and how to find them. And I think that will fill in all your gaps. The reason I challenged you with that question is a lot of people feel like they should be a probate attorney before they get on the phone. And I just want to make sure you don't have to know the answers to all the legal questions. And especially high analytical people kind of get hung up in that, and they're like, well, I'm not ready. Like, I don't know the law to the letter like I should. And you don't really need to know that. Really, being a probate expert is exactly what you said, understanding their situation and their challenges, and then just becoming the solution to it. So I strongly suggest you take Mastery. Like Session 2 will give you.
Where's that? Where's Mastery Session 2? Where's that?
So if you go under Coach Education and Coaching in the subscriber portal in the top menu,
right,
you can click on Probate Mastery. And because I'm out here with horrible internet, I haven't scheduled the next live class. But if you sign up, I'll send you the recordings from the last class, and it's about six to 7 hours of content where we basically unpack everything you just mentioned. Like I teach you, the finer points. Like if you really want to take this to the next level, that's what Mastery's for.
Oh, okay.
And the reason we don't include that in the probate fast track is in the first version of training, what we found is we overwhelmed people, and people would sign up and start going through our training, and they would have paralysis by analysis. So we actually broke that out into a separate training, so not to overwhelm everybody.
And Darcy, we do have someone else in the queue. Hopefully that helps.
Thank
and
you.
Please come back next week and let us know you got that listing. No pressure.
Very good. Thank
All right.
you very much.
All right. Thank you. Next up is phone number ending in 1472. You're up next.
Hello, this is Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Hi. So I feel like I feel, fairly comfortable with the script with the people. Unfortunately, I do not get a lot of leads. I think the last batch was like 41 or something. So I don't get a lot, but I think I told you I'm getting a listing, so I'm excited about that. But so I'm thinking that maybe I haven't called attorneys at all or gone there, but I think I'd like to approach that, and I haven't called at all, so I'm wondering if you can do some role play and on what to say and what to give them and all that kind of stuff with attorneys.
So the phone call is pretty tough when you're doing it on your own. So far, we haven't really cracked that code. What we have figured out is how to use a third party on your behalf to get through the gatekeeper to the attorney. We're converting those right now. We'll officially announce it tomorrow. But our ISAs are making calls to attorneys on your behalf, and we're converting at about 6.75%. So if we call 100 attorneys for you, we'll get you in front of almost 7 of them.
Okay. So I'm open to doing that, just having the ISA calling them?
Yeah. So it was a much different reception for the ISA than it was when we had agents calling directly. Because when you call directly, you're trying to get through the gatekeeper to talk about me and my service and what I can do. Where with a third party doing it, it's, hey, this is Chad. I'm calling on behalf of Amy. She wanted to see if she could get on your calendar. She noticed that, she specializes in probate and has built a team. And she noticed that you guys are handling quite a few files each month. And she just wanted to introduce herself and her service and kind of show you how that can, you guys could help each other. Would you be able to meet with her for just 5 minutes on Tuesday? And that has been working really well it seems way easier to set the appointment as a third party than it does calling, yourself. The most effective way to do this, though, is still hands down going into just dropping by their office, and I recommend a late afternoon. Typically, attorneys are out of court by then, so midweek, late afternoon, from 2 to 4 o'clock seems to be a good time. But just drop in and say, something like, listen, I've been helping families in probate, and I've pulled the data for several months, and I just noticed that you guys seem to be specializing. So I wanted to kind of introduce myself, show you what we're doing, the team that we've built, and how we can complement your business. Would you have 5 minutes to talk? That's one way to open the door. Having been in the business for a long time, I know that you must have a lot of past clients, right?
Yeah, some are on the other side of the country, but
Okay. Well, how many do you have in California?
Off the top of my head, I think I have something like 500.
That's a ton. So those 500 people, if they don't have an estate plan, and there's about a 95% chance they don't, they're going to have to pay 4 to 7% of their net worth after they die. So they're going to lose 4 to 7% of their legacy. Should they? If they could prevent that?
Not. No,
so
no way.
If you reach out to each of them and offer and say, listen, I've been helping families in probate, and I see how painful and expensive that can be. Would it be okay if I have one of my team members reach out and offer a free consultation to you to set up an estate plan? It could save you, on average, my clients save, $100,000 in administration costs. Would that be okay? So it gives you a huge value touch for your sphere of influence, and then if they say yes, then that gives you a red-hot referral to start that relationship with any attorney in town. So once you have a past client that said, yeah, that would be great, Amy, that's so thoughtful of you, then you go to the attorney and say, listen, I'm looking to partner with a few attorneys that are really good at help servicing my clients after the sale. Whether they're buyers or sellers, I believe that something I should be doing is offering an estate plan to each of my clients. Would you be interested in talking about that? Great. And when you sit down and talk about that, as soon as they get that referral, the first question out of their mouth is going to be, well, tell me more about what you do. Oh, well, actually, I have a team of people. We help families going through probate. That's what kind of got me in tune to this and made me go back through my past clients to make sure they don't have to go through what a lot of my other clients are going through. And then just show them that you built the team and that your business complements theirs. So you've led with a referral, and you've naturally, kind of organically had them ask you about your business, and you'll earn referrals that way easily.
That sounds great.
The great thing is, Amy, I know you realize that the executors are the low-hanging fruit. You want to reach out to them first, but normally they're probably only going to be good for a deal or two.
Right.
The attorneys can be a career worth of referrals. We've got a guy in Southern California that did nearly $1 million in commissions last year just with referrals from attorneys. He got into the court system, and I don't even know if he's calling the executors anymore. He's done so well with the attorneys, but there's no reason in a county like yours where you're not getting a ton of leads. That's a natural second step to go after them.
Right, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
All right, so it sounds like it makes sense for me to just sign up with a ISA to do the calling, and then they actually make the appointment. Are they making the appointment, the ISA, for the attorneys, or how does that work?
They'll go ahead and book the appointment, and as soon as we set an appointment, you'll get notified, the attorney's name, address, appointment time, and notes on the conversation.
Okay. And do you recommend, because I'm never going to send the letter, so to me it makes sense for you guys to just do that. So you have an attorney letter that's kind of similar to the other letters that we send?
We do, but, frankly, it's not very effective. So you're better off to spend your money making the phone calls. And actually
so you wouldn't even bother with the letters at all?
Not for the attorneys. It's really effective with the PR, but we just haven't had much success mailing attorneys. It usually ends up in file 13 when it goes past the gatekeeper.
So now tell me, so now they make an appointment, and so I'm going there, and just as we discussed, I'm going to have a conversation about how, I've been doing a lot of probate, and I really need some attorneys that I can count on. I've got past clients and trying to save them money from not having to go into a probate and help them, get an estate plan. And I'm really trying to align myself with attorneys. So I'd like to meet you, or I don't even get into that. I just go for the appointment, and then when I meet them, I tell them all that. Is that correct?
Well,
am I calling them back?
So let me back up and just start over. So I'm going to give you 3 options.
Okay.
For face-to-face meetings with attorneys.
Okay.
Option 1 is you simply show up and show them how your business complements theirs and hope that that conversation leads into, here's what we do, and you can earn referrals. That's very effective. That's what most people do. Option 2 is call your past clients, offer them a free consultation with your legal team to set up an estate plan, and everyone that says yes becomes a red-hot referral. You contact the attorney and you directly address that and say, listen, I have a list of X number of people. I'm looking to partner with an attorney who can meet with them and offer them an estate plan consultation. Would you be interested in meeting with me? Okay, perfect. I'll be over there on Tuesday at 3. And just leave it at that. And when you get there, then you'll segue into the conversation about the bigger picture of your business and what you do to service families in probate. It will naturally happen. Option 3 is you look at your probate list and you see any of the personal representatives that do not have an attorney assigned to them, which in most states about 15 to 20% of them will be pro se, meaning they're doing it on their own. A lot of times those people are overwhelmed and they will end up hiring an attorney before the process is over, but they didn't have one at the initiation of the process. So you can call and say, listen, I've pulled the probate records. I noticed that there's 5 on the list this month that don't have attorney representation. I would like to meet with you to kind of talk about how we could co-market to them. So hopefully I can help them with the real estate services, and you can help them with the probate services. Would you want to sit down for 5 minutes and kind of chat about that as an ongoing campaign, and then get that appointment? And when you get there, you can tell them a whole lot more about your business and why you're doing this and how you have contact. And the idea is to just, once you get the chance to talk about your business, show them that you're not a typical agent. Show them that your scope of service is way broader than just sales and marketing of a single house. You're going to help the family do everything that they can't. So a lot of times the expectation of the personal representative is, oh, my attorney's got it handled. He's going to do everything. And then they get blindsided late in the process when the attorney's like, dude, that's your job, not mine. So paint the picture that you're the bridge between the attorney's responsibility and the personal representative and everything they've been tasked with. Your service fills that gap. And once they understand that, they've never met a real estate agent that's providing that level of service. So once they understand that, they're very eager to use you as their go-to agent, because they know they're not going to have to babysit you. And you're only going to protect their client's interest and make the process more efficient by providing the service you do.
Okay.
Does that help, Amy?
Yeah. So is there like a certain amount of attorneys they call? Like, do they call all the, how does all that work? How do they choose which attorneys, or they just call all of them in the county? Or
it just depends what you order. So just like with the personal reps, you can order. You can upload a custom list, or you can order calls for your entire list. Now, the probate attorneys, because we don't use a dialer, we have to make one-on-one dials, and we have to get through the gatekeeper to speak with the attorney. It takes us about 5 times longer to make a single phone call, a single touch. So because of that, it's $7.50 per call for the attorney calls. But we're unlike the personal representative, we're calling a new batch each month. With attorneys, we might call 1 month or 2 months, and you'll be done. You'll be set for your career. So it's $7.50, and you can budget. You can order all of them, or you can select a few that you want to call and upload a custom list. It's whatever you want, but it's $7.50 each.
Okay.
And you can expect, about just under 7% of them will actually turn into meetings on the first round of calls.
And I believe you mentioned something about on the website there's some kind of a brochure or something that you could give them.
Yeah, so we do trifold brochures. If you look under Mailbox Motivator Campaign Setup, where the letters are on the left, on the right you'll see some other print collateral. And in there we have a trifold brochure we've got several different versions, but a lot of folks leave those behind.
Great. Very, very helpful. Thank you.
Awesome. Again, report back to us and let us know how you're doing. Thank you so much for participating. We have one more person in the queue, phone number ending in 3861. You're up next. You there?
Hello. Yes, I'm here. This is Wayne in Texas. Hello.
Hey, Wayne. Thanks for participating. How you doing?
Good. I think, Chad, you just answered my question there at the end. I was curious to see if there was like a trifold brochure. I was planning on going to visit some more attorneys that I keep seeing popping up here, and I wanted to just stop in, and other than just, my smiling face and my business card, there's something I could drop off for them to, I don't know if I should just bring one of them or a stack of them so that they can leave them in their office to share with their clients, or what do you do with those brochures?
Well, I think I would bring a stack and just see how the conversation goes. I mean, we've had people actually, we've had attorneys ask the agents, like, well, listen, can you give me some of these so we can keep them at the front desk? So if they see value in that, then I would be prepared for it, right?
Yeah.
If not, then you can give them one and take the stack with you. And as far as what the brochure is, I mean, you can customize it. We can customize it for you as much as you would like. So you can kind of look at the templates that we have and say, I'd rather word it this way, or I'd rather have my bullet list say these things. Like, we can make it anything you want. It's just, just take a look at what's there and just let us know what you need.
Got it. Okay. That helps.
So
Thank you.
If you want to make changes to make it a better leave-behind piece, is kind of what I was saying. Like, if it's, rather than a piece that you would hand to a personal representative, you can make it an attorney-specific leave-behind. We'll be happy to do that for you.
Is on your website, is it in the form that I could do it myself?
No, we don't. So the online editor is not quite that powerful. We actually have a design team, so you can look at the templates and then call and speak with Alyssa. If you call the main line and connect with Mailbox Motivator, you can speak with Alyssa, and she can help you with that.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. It's interesting how these calls have a theme. Today is, we've got some first-timers that are having success after struggling through calls, and then the rest of the people have wanted to talk about attorneys. That's great. We don't have anybody else in the queue. These calls don't always go as long as the mastermind calls, so last chance, if anybody else would like to role-play anything with our coach, just hit *6 and hit 1. And otherwise, I guess we'll wrap it up early today. Chad, anything else you want to share with the group?
I usually mention this in the beginning of these calls, but if you haven't listened to our role play archives, if you are a subscriber in Subscriber Portal, go to Education and Coach and Training Conference Calls, Access Call Archive, and this is number 29. So you have about 28 hours in addition to this that you can listen to. And each one is really unique. So I try to summarize each one. You'll kind of see what we discussed or what we role played in each one. So if you're just getting started, go back through. I mean, I would say at least make a commitment to yourself to go back through the last 3 or 4 of these calls. It's one of the best ways we can help you guys get up to speed and confident quickly. And then tomorrow we have the weekly mastermind call, same number, same dialing code at 1 p.m. Eastern.
All right, good call, Chad. I'm so glad you made it. I was struggling without you, so thanks for finding a good hot spot. And I always end all of these calls by challenging everyone. Thank you for taking the 45 minutes or so to be here today. We had some good participation. We had some great ideas. Take one thing you heard on today's call, go out and put it into practice, and come back tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern, and share it with the group. Thank you so much, guys. Make it a great rest of the day, and we will talk to you on our mastermind call tomorrow.